everyone, welcome to Fairy Tale and Fiction. My name's Sophie and today I will be showing you my May book haul, which I will hopefully be able to lift with two hands, but I'm not entirely sure because I went a bit mad this month. So, we have all of the books. Oh yes, oh god. First up, I will be talking about The Diviners by Libba Bray. I've heard a fair bit about it from various booktubers, and I've never read a Libba Bray book before, so Beauty Queens didn't really strike me as my cup of tea. Maybe I'll read it somewhere down the line, but if I like her writing style, I will look into going bovine next, I think. I think this is the first in a series, since the official site says The Diviners series, but I haven't read it yet, so it might not be. Fairly hefty book, might take me a while to read. It looks like a detective novel, which is not really my sort of thing normally, but I'm going to give it a go. I hope I enjoy it, otherwise it's going to take me forever to read. But yes, The Diviners. Okay, so this month I also bought Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. I haven't read The Hunger Games yet. Might be the only person on the planet not to have done so. First booktuber confession, that one. It's definitely high up on my to-be-read list. I want to at least read The Hunger Games before, and Catching Fire before the second movie comes out, which is in November, I think. So I need to get going on that. I would have liked the hardcover, but this is the edition that matches my other two paperback ones. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading it. Love dystopian fiction. Favourite books are 1984 and Brave New World. So, young adult version of dystopia. I want it in my face. I need to read quicker. Next up, I have The Orphan Choir by Sophie Hannah. I've never read anything or heard of her before. The sticker on the front says, if you liked The Woman in Black, you'll love this. I did like The Woman in Black, so I better love this. I may have been swayed when I picked this up by the fact that I already had Dull Bones in my hand, and I was kind of into the creepy, so I was like, yeah, creep fest, let's do it. The Goodreads description says that it is so hard when your children go to school, a small part of you leaves with them, so when the Beast and Son is accepted to a prestigious choral scholarship to a boarding school near their holiday home in the country, it seems like the perfect time to get out of the city. Things have been bad with their neighbour for a while now anyway. Susanna has been driven mad by constant thudding music coming from next door every weekend, and his latest taste in choral music seems like a taunting, especially as he always plays it when her husband Daniel is away. But their move to the country doesn't offer the solace Susanna needs. Again she is plagued by the sounds of the children's choir. It follows her wherever she goes, so when the children turn up on her doorstep she's ready to call the police. But this is no normal choir. Moo. So yes, this looks spooky. It's pretty short. I'm thinking it isn't great reading before bedtime though, because I kind of don't like the dark as is. It's got a really pretty cover on it. Musical notes in shiny on a matte cover, which I quite like. I think it catches the light there. It's got a really creepy boy on the back, which I'm not really a fan of, but you know, hope this is good. It doesn't give me nightmares. So next up I have Clockwork Angel. I am so excited to read this book. Like, I can't even tell you how excited I am to read this. I've heard nothing but great things about Cassandra Clare, and this will be my first book of hers that I've ever read. If you don't know anything about Cassandra Clare's writing, what rock have you been living under, and why does it not have Wi-Fi? Clockwork Angel is the first in the Infernal Devices trilogy, which serves as a prequel to the Mortal Devices series, in which there are currently 5 books, and I think the 6th is coming out in March next year, so I will definitely have read them by this. As you can see from the bookmark, I've already started reading it. I'm on chapter 3 and I'm already in love with Will Herondale. Please somebody buy him for me. It's a kind of steampunky romance supernatural thing. Massively excited to be throwing myself into this series. I read the prologue the day it arrived, and then I read the next 2 chapters the next day. I really want to finish the Infernal Devices series and City of Bones before the City of Bones film comes out in August this year, very excited for that. Haven't even read the book and I'm really excited. Next up is Warp, the Reluctant Assistant by Ewan Colfer. I picked this up during a late night run to Tesco's for chocolate. I was lonely and vulnerable, and that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. It was a toss-up between picking this and picking up Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I still definitely want to read Fifth Wave, but I opted for this since I'd never heard about it before and I knew where I could get Fifth Wave from. I recognise the author as the author from the Artemis Fowl series in which I own number 1 and number 2, and I have never actually read. I think my mum bought me the Artemis Fowl series because she wanted to read it herself, but I can't work out if this book is meant to be for middle graders or slightly older. It seems kind of gory. Time travel fiction, mixes Victoriana with assassin, so that sounds pretty awesome. It's the first in the series from what the cover says, but I can't find any more information about the next book or when that's out or what it will be about. But yes, it definitely says book 1. So, new series. Next up, I have Under the Nether Sky by Veronica Rossi. I watched a Shout at Me video in which she discussed picking this book up from the works. So the next day I went out to my nearest branch of the works, and lo and behold, they do have this book in there, as well as loads of others which I'd seen reviews for on 3 for £5. So that's extremely good, and I thought, well, I don't mind paying £5 for 3 books, even if they aren't hardcover, which I like hardcover, but you know. The first book in what I believe will be a trilogy, this one, Through the Evernight being book 2, they didn't have that. I'm hoping to get it soon. And Still Into the Blue is book 3, which is expected for publication sometime next year, but I'm not entirely sure when, so don't quote me on that. Paranormal dystopian fiction with elements of romance, which I enjoy in a book, and I think it helps me to engage with the plot, makes characters kind of more relatable to me. I like the fact that, you know, not only is the dystopia happening, but they're also dealing with everyday kid stuff, teen stuff, whatever. I'm looking forward to reading this at some point, but I'm very excited for the other books that I have read that I've bought first, so I'm hoping to read those first. Next, I have Tithe and Ironside by Holly Black. They were in the 3 for £5. They didn't have Valiant. For those of you that don't know, Tithe and Ironside are the books 1 and 3 in Holly Black's modern fairy tale trilogy. I've read very mixed reviews on this series on Goodreads, but as fairy tales and modern takes upon them interest me greatly, to the point where I decided to do my dissertation on them, I picked these 2 up, hoping they'd be good. I mean, I've already read Dullbones and I liked her writing style, so I figure even if the story's bad, I'll like it because it's good writing. I will pick up a matching copy of Valiant online somewhere. I can't find one at the moment. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. So yes, these were also part of the 3 for £5 deal in the works. So if you are living in Britain, go down to the works, buy the books. Next up, I have Silence by Becca Fitzpatrick. This wasn't in the deal at the works, but it was very cheap, so I decided to pick it up, despite not owning or having read Hush Hush or Crescendo. For those of you that don't know, Silence is the 3rd in Becca Fitzpatrick's Hush Hush Paranormal Fantasy quadrilogy. I've been recommended this series by a friend, so I'm hoping to source the first 2 books fairly soon so I can dive into it. But look how shiny it is! Love that! Also in the 3 for £5 series from the works was The Iron Queen by Julie Kagawa. Yes, so it wasn't really my day for finding full series, apparently. The Iron Queen is the 3rd in Julie Kagawa's Iron Fae quadrilogy, the first being the Iron King, second the Iron Daughter, and the 4th the Iron Knight, and you guessed it, I don't own any of the other books in the series. The works! Why you not fulfill my needs? Heard massively good things about this young adult paranormal fantasy, so definitely need to find the first 2 books and get on this. Fun fact, this book was published by the same publishing house that does Mills and Boon books, which is the same publishing house that I had my first serious graduate interview with, and the first publishing house to turn me down. Next, I picked up Wither by Lauren De Stefano. It's first in the Chemical Garden trilogy of Wither, Sever and Fever. Another dystopian young adult novel. Haven't necessarily heard good things about this one. Thought it was best to try it out for myself before I hear it being panned, and it was in the 3 for a £5, so I figured I wasn't missing out on much if I don't like it. And the cover's very pretty, I think. Pretty lady on the pretty cover, so I'm hoping it will be good. Next I have Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Carriger. This was also in the 3 for £5 deal in the works. Yes, I spent a lot of money in there and had to carry all these books around all day. I saw this on the Bookables Anticipated in 2013 video and on one of Katie Tastic's book hauls, and I thought it sounded absolutely amazing. Sounds so cool. Genuinely did a little squealy noise when I saw it on the deal table in the works. Was going to fork out about a tenner for the hardcover of it that very morning, and just as well I didn't, because I got it for cheaps. This is the first in her finishing school series, the second being Curtsies and Conspiracies, which is due out on the 5th of November. So remember, 5th of November this year. This sounds like a very cool premise, something that would totally have captured my imagination as a 14-year-old and still appeals to me greatly now because I haven't really grown up at all. For those of you that don't know, Etiquette and Espionage is about a 14-year-old girl who gets sent to finishing school, only to find out that they also train you up to be an assassin. Lots of assassins and murder in my book haul, I think, actually. Definitely looking forward to reading this, despite not having universally good comments. Also, arrived today, I have The Casual Vacancy. I've already read this. I already read this before I ordered it. But I really liked it, and I decided that I needed it, so I bought it. It's J.K. Rowling's adult novel. Pretty sure you all know about this one. I'm going to do a full-length review on it, and I will be talking about it in my end of May wrap-up video, which I shall hopefully be recording at some point in the next week, if I finish work on time, on one day at least. So I'm not really looking forward to reading this, because I've already read it, but I'm going to get my mum to read it, so I'm looking forward to her reading it, I suppose. So the last thing in my haul isn't really a book, it's a massive bag that my mum bought me in the works because of all the books that I found and I bought, and it meant that carrying the books around all day didn't absolutely kill my hands, even though it was very heavy. It was quite a strong bag and it didn't rip and my books didn't fall over the ground anywhere, so that was quite good. £1 in the works, probably worth it if you're gonna, you know, do the 3 for £5 thing and spend all of your money like I did. I also have some more books in the post, but since they're not here yet, I'll save them for next month's haul video. Probably won't be able to buy a lot more books next month since I have to do grown-up things like paying my car insurance and other bits and pieces like that. Also found out today that work haven't paid me yet, so it will be another week before I have any money to do anything with, let alone buy books. Anyway, in the meantime, look out for my reviews on these books throughout the rest of the month. As I said, by next week hopefully I will have a May wrap-up, June to TBR, to be read video of some description. I've already started looking about what I want to talk about in that, so hopefully that'll be up soon. Happy reading to you all, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye. In my Facebook. Nom nom.